Now, speaking of things I was dead wrong about, let's look at the Sixers, right? Because I put out a tweet, and I want to say November, that said the Sixers would be a top 4 seed in the East. Book it. Glad you didn't book it. Because they weren't a top 4 seed in the East. They were one of the worst teams in all of the NBA. They, in a lot of ways, did what they were supposed to do when it became very obvious to many, except me, that this team was not going to succeed this season. And they finished with one of the worst 6 records in all of basketball. And if you're not aware, the Sixers' first-round pick is top 6 protected. This does not guarantee that they get their draft pick. The ping pong balls still have to go their way. If for whatever reason the ping pong balls fall out, then they're screwed. But it puts them in a good position, at least, to keep their pick and possibly get an impact player. You add that impact player to hopefully a healthy Joel Embiid, a healthier Paul George, a still, I think, ascending Tyrese Maxey, and a Jared McCain, who looked like a revelation when he actually played until he had the injury. But here's actually what I want to talk about, is Keith Pompey from the Inquirer, who does a tremendous job. You can follow him on Twitter at Pompey on Sixers. He put out a poll that said, stay or go, do you want Joel Embiid to stay? He said nearly half of the voters said they want him gone. And I'm not trying to do a victory lap with this, but when I was on the air at 97.5, I was, I think the quote was taken out of context, but I got ripped for it. And this was not this past, it was the beginning of the 2023-24 season. And I said, if you think the window is closed, that's the big thing. If you think the window is closed, then you need to trade Joel Embiid. This was him coming off of his MVP season. I said, look, like, he is a unicorn. He is extremely talented. But if you think the window is closed, then what are we doing? Because at that point, you're being a selfish fan. And you're keeping a guy that has tremendous value because he's the reigning MVP. You're keeping him just because you want to be able to watch something, which in a way is understandable. Like, you're a fan. Why would you want to watch a bad product? Joel Embiid makes the Sixers much better. We all know this. But if you think that the window is closed and they are not going to win with Joel Embiid, then you need to move on from him. The comments to that tweet, I mean, I just got it torched because a lot of Sixers fans looked at it as me saying, you need to trade Joel Embiid. And I wasn't saying that. I was just simply saying, hey, like, if you think the window's closed, then what's the point of keeping him? Trade him because his value is probably never going to be bigger than right now. And then fast forward a year and a half later, and people are done. There's a lot of people that are like, I'm done with this dude. And I'm a little amazed. Because the fact is, this past season hindered on Joel Embiid. This past season's success hindered on Joel Embiid. This team is never going to win without Joel Embiid. This team will never win without Joel Embiid. I think we're all on the same page with that one, right? Like, if they have Paul George and they have Tyrese Maxey and they have Jared McCain, they're still not winning without Joel Embiid. Joel Embiid is a 7'2" Cameroonian unicorn. He is one of, if not the best players in basketball when he plays. You can point at Jokic all you want, but when you look at the offense and the defense, which is big, Joel Embiid, I think, is better. Am I biased? Maybe. Who cares? It's my channel. So when Joel Embiid was clearly not healthy, that should have been a tip-off, at least to me. You know, the idiot here who said they'd be top 4, book it. That should have been an indication that this season was going to go down the toilet. And it did. And the fact is, Joel Embiid was dropping 50 points on one knee and a pinch of palsy against the Knicks. And he went right from that, when he should have gotten his knee right. He should have had surgery. He went right from that into the Olympic training camp. He never should have played in the Olympics. And if you watched him in the Olympics, he didn't look right. Like, he was getting ripped apart by NBA fans for whatever reason, because I guess they just don't like Joel Embiid. It's very puzzling to me. Like, are you not a citizen of the United States? Like, do you not want the United States to win gold medal, but you're ripping Joel Embiid? He was getting torched by a lot of fans because he just didn't look right. And if you're a Sixers fan and you're watching, you're like, that's not the same guy. And it was because he was injured. He clearly wasn't healthy. So he wins the gold medal, kind of gets carried to it, and then he had, 2 or 3 months before training camp? This dude never got right. He never got right from the meniscus tear that he had last season in, February. He just went right from basketball to basketball to basketball. He should have dealt with it, but he didn't. And nobody got in his ear. Nobody got in his ear and said, hey, Joel, I know you want a gold medal, but, I think an NBA title's better. And I understand it's a hard conversation to have with a guy, especially when he wants this for his legacy, for his son, really, to see this. His son was, who was born here, to see his father hoist that gold medal. I understand that. I get that it's a really, really tough sell. And I wonder if anyone actually tried. I wonder if anyone got in his ear and was like, Joel Embiid, like, dude, really shouldn't be playing. But that cooked him. And when you look at this Sixers season, while you had hope that this new big three of Maxey, Embiid, and Paul George would thrive, they didn't. They struggled big time. It wasn't just Joel Embiid. It was Paul George as well. He was horrible. This is the worst year of his career. Now, defending him a little bit, it's really hard to get going when you're not only on a new team, you're getting acclimated to a new city, you're injured as well, and your running mate, i.e. Joel Embiid, is rarely healthy. And even when he is playing, he's not the same. Tough to get going. In fairness to Paul George. I don't know if Joel Embiid was 100% healthy, if Paul George ends up thriving in this. I have no idea. I think Nick Nurse, though, is a really, really good offensive coach. And what I saw was a bad offensive team. So I would like to think that if everybody's healthy, you have a much, much, much better product. And you don't have guys having the worst year of their career. But I think it's important, too, to look at, give me one NBA team where you take off the best player on that team and they're still contending for a championship. You're not going to be able to. You take off Jason Tatum for the Boston Celtics, and yeah, they have a deep team, but they're not winning an NBA championship. If you look at the Lakers with LeBron, they're not winning an NBA championship without LeBron. Steph and Golden State, they're not winning without Steph. Ja and Memphis, the list goes on. You can't name me, Giannis and Milwaukee, a team that will lose their best player. Top 5 player in the league when he's healthy, and I think he's the best player in the league when he's healthy. You lose that guy, and you're still contending. And basketball is probably the one sport where that really happens, where you lose your best player, and your season is cooked. I think hockey, you can pretty much survive as long as it's not a goalie, albeit, Edmonton might struggle without McDavid, but they still have Draisaitl. Football, obviously, we've seen, in this own city, right? Nick Foles ends up winning a Super Bowl. Basketball is that one sport. And I don't necessarily know if I'm ready to give up the dream that Joel Embiid can bring this city a championship. And maybe I'm very foolish when I say that, and maybe I'll be on here in a year calling myself an idiot, but he's just so damn talented. He just simply can't stay healthy. Shams Charania put out a tweet that said Joel Embiid is expected to, go through arthroscopic knee surgery, expected to make a full recovery. Now, he's had the surgery since that tweet went out, but I quote tweeted it and said, the fact that you put is expected to make a full recovery, that's the least likely outcome. And every Sixers fan will tell you that. Because it feels like this team is cursed. Even when they get a really good player, and Paul George is like, oh, yeah, the worst year of his career. Al Horford, right? They sign Al Horford, has the worst year of his career. It seems like anybody they put with this guy, he just, other than Tyrese Maxey, and James Harden was good too, but it's I don't know. So I was really surprised at Keith Pompey's poll that at this point fans are turning on him, and I do wonder what's the reaction going to be next season. Hopefully he's healthy. Hopefully he plays. But I wonder how much Sixers apathy has just set in with this team. I'm a Sixers season ticket holder. I'm personally giving it one more year. But I'm interested for you guys out there. Are you guys just done? Are you checked out? Because right now, if you're looking to trade Joel Embiid, I don't think you're getting a lot for him.